And then preservation of wealth. Property. That is a right. It's a human right. And, it's interesting. All property is theft. I mean, what a piece of sophistry that is. All property is theft. Because you can't have the concept of theft without property. Right? There's no concept of theft without property. All property is theft. Right? Yeah, that was one of Marxist ideas. All property is theft, right? The idea that everything should be communally. Communal property.
One example that I've come across relating to that is a Muslim man. Actually, it was a man married to a Muslim. He was not a Muslim. She was a Muslim, and she was taking money without him knowing it from his wallet or things like
right.
that. He was very upset about it. But the question came up, well, because for her, the money within the family was not property. It was she felt that it was the family. Communally owned.
Community property.
Yeah. Is that true within the family?
No, not at all.
Isn't the hand cut if one of the spouses goes into a locked thing owned by the spouse?
No. That's very hard to, within families there's completely different, yeah. But Hind came and said that she used to take property from Abu Sufyan without him knowing. And the Prophet, because he said Abu Sufyan was a miser. And the Prophet ﷺ said, take it with him knowing. Take what you need. That you have a permission, you have a right to the amount that you need. But he should know about it. So that was the fatwa. Radiyallahu anhum jami'an. So the idea that of preservation of property is that theft, the rules applying to theft, the cutting of the hand, that is radical. Right? The cutting of the hand is a very radical concept. Now, it has to be from a hirs, it has to be, like if we left something outside, like I left my bicycle outside unlocked, right? And somebody took it. It has to be in a place that's recognized as that you cannot go into it. If you leave something out for people, that is not a hirs, that's not protected area or protected space. And it's interesting, I'll tell you something really interesting about Sharia. If I go to Hakim and he's got a bunch of money in his hand and I start fighting him, beat him up and take his money, there's no cutting of the hand there. That's called ghasab, a ghasib. The cutting of the hand is it's when it's done furtively. It's very interesting. I mean, the idea is that if you're a ghasib, there's more, it's less dishonorable. In other words, at least you're giving a person the opportunity to fight for his property. But if you steal it from him without even giving him that opportunity, it's like you've reached the depths of depravity. No, if you hurt them, then there's diyat. There's diyat. There's blood money, and there's retribution. That's different. But somebody, what they call a mugger, who comes and takes, as long as they don't have a weapon. If they have a weapon, then that's actually the worst form. That is armed robbery, which the punishment is death. You see, armed robbery is even if they don't kill anybody. If a man goes into a store with a gun and points that gun at a person, then the punishment is death. In fact, very severe. It's one of the worst things you can do, because the society, the one thing that people should feel within a society is security in their being. That is the most important thing, is feeling a sense of security, which is protection of self. Human beings should feel safe in their homes and safe in their streets. They should have that sense of safety. You shouldn't have to worry about who's this guy behind me. People should not have to feel that fear. So the Islamic laws are very severe when it comes to these fundamental breaches of human rights. Or not human, I don't like that word, of shari'ic rights. Because we don't have human rights. We have legal rights that are given to us by Allah, not by solely our humanity. They're given to us from Allah. God-given rights, thank you. That's the old-fashioned way of saying it. Human rights is a modern concept.
The idea of parking meters and making people pay for like a space for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that would go under like maslaha. I mean, technically, the government could do that if it was seen as a maslaha. Traffic laws generally go under the rules of masalih al-mursala, which is where there's public benefit. So technically, because the reason there's traffic laws is to protect people's lives. So by the Sharia, you should follow traffic laws. You should follow traffic laws by Sharia. In fact, some of the muftis have said that if you purposely go through a red light, you should say astaghfirullah. Yeah. Because it's endangering other lives, and those laws were established for public safety. And that relates to Sharia. The Sharia honors that. In fact, it incorporates it. I know. And we're in the Bay Area, and it's really bad, right? Because making people pay for parking spaces, right? When I was young, we used to, this the old days, right? We used to go downtown, and you weren't supposed to, I can't remember what they called it. What do they call that? Loitering, or right? We used to put money into the meters and just sit, in the parking space and say, hey, we rented this place. Rebels without cause, right?
How many people can sit in one place? That's the question.